Trump was accommodating. I'm going to give the man this. The man was very congenial. As we said, I want to create vision centers. You can go online, look them up. They opened up 3 of them. All the ideas I had given them, they enabled. America, great again. Let's go, Donald Trump. I'm doing this absolutely free of charge because I want this country to be in her hands as opposed to Donald Trump's hands. That's why I do it.
Lately, social media has been buzzing with chatter about Steve Harvey, who's found himself at the center of some heated controversy. The talk is that Steve is under fire, with many people accusing him of being a sellout.
But just show me what he's done for black people so I can understand, because right now I don't.
All right. Go on and
Kamala Harris for president.
And to top it off, Cat Williams, the well-known American comedian, is reportedly trying to get Steve canceled by exposing his dirty secret.
President Trump was accommodating. I'm going to give the man this. The man was very congenial. As we said, I want to create vision centers. You can go online, look them up. They opened up 3 of them. All the ideas I had given them, they enabled. America, great again. Let's go, Donald Trump. I'm doing this absolutely free of charge because I want this country to be in her hands as opposed to Donald Trump's hands. That's why I do it.
Lately, social media has been buzzing with chatter about Steve Harvey, who's found himself at the center of some heated controversy. The talk is that Steve is under fire, with many people accusing him of being a sellout.
But just show me what he's done for black people so I can understand, because right now I don't.
All right. Go on and
Kamala Harris for president. President Trump was accommodating. I'm going to give the man this. The man was very congenial. As we said, I want to create vision centers. You can go online, look them up. They opened up 3 of them. All the ideas I had given them, they enabled. America, great again. Let's go, Donald Trump. I'm doing this absolutely free of charge because I want this country to be in her hands as opposed to Donald Trump's hands. That's why I do it.
Lately, social media has been buzzing with chatter about Steve Harvey, who's found himself at the center of some heated controversy. The talk is that Steve is under fire, with many people accusing him of being a sellout.
But just show me what he's done for black people so I can understand, because right now I don't.
All right. Go on and
Kamala Harris for president.
And to top it off, Cat Williams, the well-known American comedian, is reportedly trying to get Steve canceled by exposing his dirty secrets, claiming he accepted money from big political figures in exchange for endorsing them. So, what's the fuss all about? Let's dive in.
Kamala Harris and the Democratic plantation is paying you celebrities, paying you to shame black people into voting. Y'all know we're not going to get nothing.
The talk of the town is that recently, Dr. Umar Johnson stirred the pot by accusing Steve Harvey of being paid to sway black voters in favor of Vice President Kamala Harris's presidential campaign. A few days ago, Dr. Umar Johnson took to Instagram with a strong message for celebrities he suspects have been paid to back Vice President Kamala Harris's presidential campaign. In his video, Johnson didn't mince words, making it clear that the black vote is not something that can be bought. He even called out 2 well-known celebs, accusing them of trying to sway the community to vote for Harris, who he cleverly dubs Kabama Harris, drawing a comparison to former President Barack Obama. The black vote ain't for sale no more, Johnson firmly states in his Instagram video. We bartering on business, we standing on business, bring us some tangibles or get out of my face.
Vote ain't for sale. We bartering on business. We standing on business. Bring us some tangibles or get out of my face.
Johnson didn't hold back as he doubled down on his belief that celebrities are being paid to support Harris. He even claimed that her campaign reached out to him, offering a cool $10K for an interview. Kamala Harris and the Democratic plantation is paying you celebrities, paying you to shame black people into voting for Harris. Y'all know we not going to get nothing out of that vote. Y'all being bought. They offered me $10K for an interview with Kamala Harris. I don't want your money, but we can definitely do the interview. Yes, we can do the interview, but keep your damn money, he said. But guess who seemed to take the money and support Kamala Harris? None other than Steve Harvey. Umar allegedly claims that Steve agreed to this, fully aware he was selling out black voters, but he couldn't care less because of the paycheck he was offered.
Y'all only carried on because y'all got paid to carry on. Can we please be honest?
According to Dr. Umar, Steve's strategy seems to be pushing black people to sell off their votes by using Kamala Harris's race as a shield. The idea? Harris shouldn't be questioned as rigorously because she's black. While this might not surprise those who know Steve's history, the situation is more serious now. In the past, his choices didn't impact the wider community much, but now that he's openly admitted to giving softball questions to a presidential candidate to ensure an easy win, Dr. Umar and others in the black community are saying, not on our watch. Not only this, but many black people who supported and admired Steve Harvey were shocked by his actions. They feel betrayed, as it seems he's supporting Kamala Harris simply because of the money he was offered, rather than considering what's best for the community. But hold on, everyone, that's just the tip of the iceberg. You might be shocked to learn that Steve Harvey once supported Donald Trump's Envision program, praising him for being accommodating and congenial and for helping low-income families. He said, President Trump was accommodating. I'm going to give the man this. He was very congenial. He praised Trump's vision to create facilities for low-income families to learn new skills, only to later oppose him himself. Now, here's where it gets juicy. Recently, Steve Harvey endorsed Kamala Harris on a podcast saying, I'm doing this absolutely free of charge because I want this country in her hands as opposed to Donald Trump's.
I'm doing this absolutely free of charge because I want this country to be in her hands as opposed to Donald Trump's hands.
In another clip from Steve Harvey's show, Steve responded to a woman who asked him to convince her husband to move to IKEA with her.
Stay here in this country. Donald Trump is not going to be that bad. Don't run.
Instead, Harvey advised her to stay where she was, suggesting that Donald Trump wasn't that bad and that he would make America great again.
IKEA, bring their ass here and start building them desks and stuff in America because he's going to make America great again. Let's go, Donald Trump!
So, even if people don't want to believe what Dr. Umar said about Steve Harvey being a sellout, Harvey has proven it himself. A user on X said, how much you want to bet he was paid for that endorsement? That's a question that every responsible citizen is demanding an answer to. Another user suggested, I don't think he did it for free. All he said was that he wasn't paid $10,000 in dollars. I think he was paid more. Other than Dr. Umar, former NBA star Kwame Brown also had a fiery rant on Monday, blasting black celebrity gatekeepers for pressuring people to vote for Kamala Harris as the next president. In his passionate speech, Brown argued that Harris won't be paying nobody's bills with your skin color. Brown, who spent 13 seasons in the NBA, didn't hold back and criticized black celebrities for endorsing Kamala Harris. He didn't shy away and said, anytime you have a man jump on TV or jump on his radio show and coerce or tell his followers to follow or unfollow black people that don't like Kamala, what if the black people were voting for independent presidential candidate Cornel West? Oh, that don't fit his narrative. Then Brown began to point out how inflation is at an all-time high, and he doesn't believe Harris is going to fix that for black Americans. He also said, when you talk about real situations, People are not concerned with somebody being black or not. You're not paying nobody's bills with your skin color. Kamala Harris is not going to help get your bills paid just because she's black. Brown didn't hold back labeling Steve Harvey as the go along, get along gang. He implied he's backing Kamala Harris just because she's black.
You deserve great health care. That's why we created Weight Loss by Hims. 100% online access to
Make this a summer to share in one of our capable SUVs.
You mean alley-oop? Brown asked. You alley-ooping Americans to this dummy that's not going to give them anything, but gave Asian Americans $26 billion? This isn't basketball, Steve Harvey. This is politics. And politics decides people's life. Politics decides where you're going to live, how good you're going to live in that area, the rules you're going to live up under, and the school system. Everything is decided by politics. He especially took aim at Harvey, who recently described Harris as an alley-oop for voters on Election Day. Harvey and Harris were seen together at the 100 Black Men of America conference in Atlanta this past June, where they talked about President Biden's efforts to support Black Americans, among other issues.
Administration needs to get the word out of what they're actually doing and what they're actually accomplishing so we can stop all this foolishness about what you're doing for black people.
As Harvey took the reins of the discussion on Harris's Economic Opportunity Tour, he laid out his intentions for the audience with clarity. Before y'all start calling my radio show and DMing me talking about why you ain't asked no hard-hitting questions, that ain't what this is, Harvey said. I'm throwing a lob. This is an alley-oop for a dunk. Because this administration needs to get the word out of what they're actually doing and what they're actually accomplishing, so we can stop all this foolishness about what you're doing for black people.
Well, let's talk about this capital for entrepreneurs and small businesses, because that's been a really important part of your mandate here as vice president.
Harvey argued that the administration can't just have an agenda just for black people and expect to get in the White House. You gotta play the game different. Y'all know what this is, so now this next question is another lob for her to dunk. He then urged black Americans to vote if they want to have a say in what they can ask from the government. See, I'm on this radio show. I'm hearing all these people talking about, I'm not voting if they not doing nothing for us, he said. Listen to me, if you do not vote, the analytics will show it. He continued, if we don't vote, how are we going to ask for something next time?
How are we going to ask for something next time? If you ain't got no voting power, you talking about reparations. Ain't nobody finna give you no reparations and you don't vote.
If you ain't got no voting power, you talking about reparations? Ain't nobody finna give you no reparations if you don't vote, he said. Well, you think they finna give us some money? No way, man. I hope they do. They owe us. I'll go down there. Seeing this, Dr. Umar didn't take it lightly and claimed that Kamala Harris offered Steve money to do the interview. He said, no hate to my big brothers. But if we're going to be honest, Ricky Smiley and Steve Harvey, y'all only carried on because y'all got paid to carry on. Can we please be honest? Can we? However, Steve responded back to this matter and addressed, Brother Umar, let me say this, man. I absolutely love some of the things you say. I really, really do. Some of the stuff I don't always agree with, but ain't nobody got to agree with everything I say. But let me clear the air on something. You can't hire Steve Harvey for $10,000. He further said, I don't know where you got that number from, but you can't offer Steve Harvey $10,000 to do nothing. You can go through the industry and ask about me. I don't do nothing for $10,000. Don't insult the brand equity that I've built over these 30 years of television. I'm doing this absolutely free of charge because I want this country to be in her hands as opposed to Donald Trump's hands. That's why I do it. Many fans aren't buying his comments, especially since he previously endorsed Trump and has now suddenly started supporting Kamala Harris. This shift has left fans questioning his true motives. Even though many black people might be upset with the choices of these celebrities, there's more to why they've turned their backs on Kamala Harris. It's not just the antics with Steve Harvey. The current vice president seems to have been leveraging several influential black figures to build support, but many find it pretty cringeworthy. From accusations of cultural appropriation, like when she was recently called out for faking a southern accent to appeal to black voters, to some questionable attempts at humor with phrases she thinks resonate with black people, fans are starting to feel like there's no limit to what she'll do to get into office. So, why does this matter so much? You know what they say about those who seek power by any means? It's usually a bad sign. It looks like many people, especially in the black community, are picking up on how Harris has embodied this idea. Will it impact her election prospects? According to several black interviewees, it's likely to affect her campaign's trajectory, and not in a positive way. She's also faced accusations of corruption, including using taxpayer funds for luxurious trips and acting like a goon-like leader. This raises concerns among citizens about how she could possibly be any better for the country than her predecessors, as Steve Harvey suggests. While other black celebrities could also support her, their actions reveal their commitment to doing what's right without accepting any form of payment for endorsements. One such example is Cat Williams, who has spoken out against such practices. Cat Williams believes that Steve Harvey, who he feels has a history of appropriating others' personas, shouldn't be weighing in on something as significant as politics and whom to support. With a juicy twist, Cat explained, Steve Harvey, the same guy who once went to watch Mark Curry's entire sitcom and then swiped everything Curry had, now has his own sitcom.
The same Steve that went to go watch Mark Curry do his whole sitcom and then stole everything Mark Curry had. Now Steve got a sitcom where he the principal and he wears.
Imagine this. Steve is playing a principal, decked out in a suit, and sporting a high-top fade that makes every black man think he's got the best hairstyle in the game.
Top fade, making all black men think he got the best lineup in the business. And it's a man unit.
But here's the kicker. His so-called perfect lineup is actually just a hair unit. It's like deja vu with a twist. Steve, who was once called out for taking from others, now uses his platform to flaunt an image of style and success. But it turns out there's a hidden catch. Not just this, but Steve Harvey's storytelling has come under fire recently. Cat Williams has raised questions about his claims about past hardships, like his supposed experience with homelessness. Cat claimed that Steve tried to take his story and reshape it to suit his own narrative. According to Cat, Steve did this to draw attention and boost his own image by highlighting a struggle that wasn't actually his.
Steve Harvey telling people he used to be homeless. That's my story. That's not his story. Steve Harvey was never homeless.
Cat say this doesn't add up, especially since Harvey was
This is not just online scheduling. This is vaccines made easy for those who've got plans.
You want to juice your marketing? 3 words. Ads on TV. 3 more words. Paramount Ads Manager. A lot easier than how I got on TV. Get it, girl?
Why do couples choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
I need it a little cool.
And I needed a lot of cool.
We're both cool like that.
Sleep.
making $3,000 per show and performing a lot when he was touring with comedian Mark Curry 25 years ago. This doesn't exactly fit the picture of someone struggling financially.
Was touring with him 25 years ago. He was making $3,000 a show in cash and doing 5 shows a week. They just tell the stories.
There's also been some back and forth about his personal life stories. Harvey often talks about how his wife has been a key part of his success. But Kat argues he's made similar claims about his previous spouse too. It seems like he's adjusting his story to match his current narrative, which leads some to think he might be rewriting his history.
Thanks to my wife, I'm where I am. You said that about the first wife. You forget that? You told us it was her, then you went and married somebody else.
So, the big question is whether Harvey is stretching the truth for the sake of storytelling, or if he's just trying to make his experiences more relatable. Either way, it raises concerns about how genuine his stories really are. Cat Williams also pointed fingers at how Steve Harvey has been trying to gatekeep comedy. He explained that Steve used to say he stopped doing stand-up because he was busy with 7 TV shows. The catch is, when he quit stand-up, he didn't even have those shows yet. The real reason he backed out was after a big comedy battle, the championship of stand-up comedy, against Cat Williams in Detroit in front of 10,000 people. Cat Williams called him out, saying Steve was actually bald and wearing a wig. That burn was so intense that Steve couldn't handle doing stand-up anymore.
You couldn't be a movie star. There are 30,000 new scripts in Hollywood every year. Not one of them asks for a country bumpkin black dude that can't talk good over cable and look like Mr. Potato Head.
Then Steve started telling a new story, saying he got too big because Bernie Mac and others wanted to become movie stars. Cat questioned the seriousity of the matter by stating that he even got a part in Ocean's 11. But now he's acting like he never wanted to be a movie star. As transparent as Cat Williams is in speaking the truth, he also spoke about the upcoming elections. In a podcast on Club Shay Shay with Shannon Shafrey, Williams and Sharp had a quick chat about the 2024 U.S. presidential election. Sharp asked, "Where are we headed, Cat?" And Williams replied, "This is sad. We've never been here before."
We headed, Cat.
This is sad. We've never been here before.
Williams went on to explain, "We've never been at the point where neither option is good for us for real life. It's like choosing between going back to your ex or the person you were with before them."
We've never been at the point where neither option is good for us in real life.
No.
This is a different conversation. This is, would you rather go back with your ex or would you rather go back with the...
Williams didn't name names, but he clearly implied that President Joe Biden and former President Donald J. Trump are both bad options. He put it this way: one guy can barely put his sentences together, and the other guy will put sentences together for whatever he's read or whoever told him.
One guy can barely put his sentences together, and the other guy will put sentences together from whatever he's read or whoever told him.
In the same interview, Williams mentioned that his jokes are universal. He takes pride in being able to make people from all walks of life and different beliefs laugh. He said, "That's what I learned in comedy. Republicans laugh at the exact same thing that Democrats laugh at. As long as I'm talking to Democrats, I can make them laugh for 1 hour straight about what Republicans do. By the same token, I can talk to Republicans for 1 whole hour and have them dying about the stuff that Democrats do. All division divides. There's no way around that."
Laugh at the exact same thing that Democrats laugh at. As long as I'm talking to Democrats, I can make them laugh for 1 hour straight about...
Cat Williams is famous for his sharp humor and bold opinions, and his takes on politics are no exception. He's been vocal about how chasing power and personal gain at the expense of the country's well-being is a dangerous game. Williams doesn't hold back when it comes to pointing out what he sees as flaws in the political system.
Politics.
Never talk about it. I'm not that controversial.
He believes that when politicians are more interested in pushing their own agendas than actually serving the public, it's a major problem. For him, this isn't just a small issue, it's a serious threat to the nation's progress and integrity. His strong stance on this shows that he thinks political maneuvering for personal gain isn't just controversial, but a real danger to the country's future.
The other day, Who does that? Yeah, your team got an offense and a defense. They not supposed to be enemies. The enemy is the other side. You can't do politics like that. Nope. It's not good for the country.
While Kat's views on politics highlight the importance of focusing on the country's progress rather than self-interest, many celebrities like Steve Harvey miss this point. Harvey's endorsements and actions have led some to feel he's lost touch with what's best for the nation, which has caused him to lose support from some of his black fans. These fans once saw him as a family man, but now they feel he's sold out for money, especially given his shifting stance on Trump. On the flip side, Kat is adamant that there's no future for the country if people are only looking out for their own interests instead of working towards the nation's betterment. He's made it clear that self-serving behavior in politics is a significant problem and a barrier to real progress. As of now, as VP Harris gears up her campaign, she's facing some tough criticism from the black community that's been around since Biden picked her as his running mate. The main issue people have is her time as California's Attorney General. A lot of folks feel Harris was hard on crime, which they believe contributed to the mass incarceration of black people. But some reports say she wasn't as tough as it seems. Harris views her work as that of a progressive prosecutor, though it's a bit more complex than that. For instance, when she was San Francisco's district attorney, she started a program called Back on Track, aimed at helping nonviolent, low-level drug offenders get a fresh start. However, as California's Attorney General, she was criticized for locking up around 1,900 people for marijuana offenses and overseeing nearly 2,000 felony convictions. This earned her the nickname Kamala the Cop. Aside from stories about her locking people up, there's a bigger issue. Many African Americans still don't see her as part of their community, and this feeling has been around for a while. Back in the 1980s, Harris attended Howard University, a historically black college, to connect with black culture. Some people think that if she needed to go to a predominantly black university to understand the African American experience, maybe she doesn't truly fit in. But the Kamala Harris issue isn't just about race. She's faced criticism for several controversial moments. For instance, she's drawn backlash for comparing ICE to the KKK. In a 2018 confirmation hearing, then Senator Harris asked Ronald Vitiello, who was President Trump's pick to lead Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, if he knew about the perception that ICE was like the KKK. She pressed him on whether there were parallels between the two. Vitiello disagreed, saying he didn't see any similarities and questioned whether she was putting them in the same category. If someone's gunning for the presidency, you'd expect them to have a solid principled stance. But then there's Steve Harvey. Harvey's willingness to be influenced by different interests has led some to feel he's lost touch with his core values. It almost seems like he's saying, "I'll back whoever pays the most." This makes people question his authenticity and loyalty, especially for those who want genuine leaders instead of politicians who are swayed by money. What do you think about this? Tell us in the comments below.
At Raymore and Flanagan Outlet, you can discover your
President Trump was accommodating. I'm going to give the man this. The man was very congenial. As we said, I want to create vision centers. You can go online, look them up. They opened up 3 of them. All the ideas I had given them, they enabled. America's greatest is